look out. Footy's back. G'day, I'm Essendon legend Dean Wallace. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm Jaymz Clements. This is the AFL Today Show, your new favourite one-stop shop for all things AFL footy, the greatest game in the world. Joining me for this round 15 wrap show is the one, the only, fresh out of Geelong, the stats boy, Liam McAllion. What's going on, Liam?
Oh, very excited. Was pumped with North last night, some honourable losses. So as a North fan, I'm slightly happier than a couple of months ago. So that's always good.
There is nothing sadder than the phrase, I'm pumped up for honourable losses. All right, this is the round 15 wrap. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get around the AFL Today on the old socials as well. What was it? Sports Today Show on Facey.
Yep.
But the cool thing is, footy's back, but not for too much longer. This is horrifying. Round 15, stats boy. What is going on? I do not like it. But we'll start this show the way we start every show here, with a quick look. Hey, what happened in round 15?
A lot.
There was a lot going on. Might be over for the old Tomahawk there, stats boy.
Oh, he looked horrible. I think he's been horrible all year, but he just looks off the pace, very slow. Your body, like, his thing was even in the ruck. He'd get it out of the ruck for those forward entries and things like that. He's just lost his strength, his pace, everything. I think he's done. Yeah.
So he copped an injury.
As well. Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe from the Friday night game. Geelong just had this moment of like, oh, are we good?
We're just old.
Didn't look at that like, at all. Like, the way the Tomahawk got injured sort of went off. Like, yeah, that might be
It was brutal as well.
Or hopefully it's not. At the same time, he's not been playing very well.
No, that's what I was saying. He might not even get back in.
Other quick looks. Hey, Stephen May.
Oh, I hate Stephen May already, and the fact that he's just flopping everywhere. What are you doing, mate?
I don't know. Don't say that too loudly. He might punch on with you.
Well, I've never seen him before, so...
You're also not one of his teammates, so maybe you won't.
Yeah.
Ken Hinkley got booed as Port Adelaide got smashed at home against the Lions.
I reckon he's gotten booed more than any other coach in history, because every 2 years he gets booed, Ken Hinkley. So how is he still there?
It's also this like similar vibes with, so Geelong at the moment, on a bit of a downswing, but... Even if they just have a bad year, you just expect somehow they'll be awesome in top 4 again next year. Like Port might be wooden spooners next year, and you'll be like, yeah, Port, that's right, that's how it goes. And Ken Hinkley will still have a job.
He still have a job. Well, the Port will probably somehow go on a run. This is what they do every year. They'll somehow go on a run, make finals, and then just lose straight out of finals. And then Ken will keep his job because they finished the season strong because they made finals. So we'll see what happens.
Nice one. And the Gold Coast CEO wants a week of interstate finals to even up the MCG Grand Final, which I think is quite ironic because it's the Gold Coast CEO and it's like, make a final.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I wrote this down for that exact reason. There's a guy that their team has never made finals in their whole history, and he's saying we wanted interstate finals week. Just shut up, mate. Your team is getting smashed. Well, not smashed at the moment, but they're going to lose to Freo.
I believe the phrase is cry more.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo-hoo. Like, seriously, for someone to be like, look, it's really unfair having the grand final in Melbourne. It's like,
you're not going to make
You've not made the finals ever.
Even if they do make the finals this year somehow, they're not making the grand final, so what is he even worried about?
I love that. All right, let's do it. Ladder check. I do like that we pulled the pin on this one early, and now the Gold Coast Suns have come flying back, stats boy. But
I just said they were lost to Freo.
Ladder check. Now, after this week, the buys are done, so we are at even standing across the board.
It's just
games played. Literally since round 0, this has been wonky as all get out, and I've not enjoyed it. So, who's on top, you might ask? The answer to that is the best team we've seen in the last 50 years of AFL football. That's right.
Wow. Aussie
Rules footy is now dominated by the Sydney Swans. They look untouchable. They look incredible. The best team in the comp by far. They're 13-1. Carlton are 10-4. In sole possession of second place. That's mainly because, I don't know, Collingwood didn't play this week, but that's fine. Also, Carlton looked very good.
Carlton looked awesome. I was there. They were up and about. Charlie Curnow, watching him live is one of the best things to watch in footy.
The Bomb Rays are third. Essendon at 9-4-1 after a big win over the Eagles. When I say big, I mean not massive.
They just sort of got over the line. They finished strong. So that was
Collingwood 8-4-2 having had the bye. GWS 8-6, somehow still in 5th.
What the hell? So many crap teams are in the 8th. It's very
the tricky part is, I believe if Freo hold on to win this, Freo will jump from 10th to 5th.
Yes.
Which tells you a lot about the state of the current AFL ladder, where the team that is in 10th with one single win can go, hang on a second, now we're 5th.
Yeah, literally, you'd be like, 1 week, you're like, we're in 10th. We're not good. We're not going to make fun. Oh, wait, we're 5th. We can go for top 4.
That's called being a Melbourne supporter.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think earlier this week, they were languishing in 11th.
Yep.
And like now they're 8th. It's like, we're in the finals.
Yeah, we're back.
All 7 of their supporters will be up and about.
Oh, they didn't turn up.
That was a shocking game on Saturday, but we'll get to that later.
Yes.
Geelong 8-6, as well as the Port Adelaide Power, as well as the Melbourne Demons 6 through 8 are all in 8-6. Then you got the Brisbane Lions, the rampant Lions.
They're coming.
7-6-1. Freo presumably will be 7-6-1 after this, but they will jump up because obviously they have. Oh no, they'll be 8-6-1. Sorry, of course they'll jump up into 5th on 34 points.
Unless Gold Coast snatch a win here,
If
but
Gold Coast
so it could be close.
3 goals in the next 5 minutes, it could be chaos.
Matthew's rule says it's still live.
I'll tell you. So Freo, boom, off they go. The Bulldogs. I love that there's still the line of demarcation even with the bye.
Well, they had a bye.
7-7. Nothing's changed. It's great. The line of demarcation team. They should call themselves the Western line of demarcation.
That just rolls off the tongue really well. You can get some chance going with that. Surely.
I reckon to make up a team. I just start calling them that and everyone just go, well, I thought that was just their name. Simple as that.
Yeah.
The Western 500s.
The Western, the 50-50s.
Gold Coast 7-6 at the moment. This looks like it'll be 7-7 in a second, which would tie them with the Hawthorn Hawks in 13th. St Kilda 5-9. I love that St Kilda had the bye this week, and everyone's like, I did not notice.
Because no one wants to watch the St Kilda game. It's beautiful when the Saints have a bye.
Can we give the Saints the bye the rest of the year?
I think Saints fans might say the same. They're like, can we just take it off?
Adelaide, oh boy, 4-9-1 as well. West Coast, play the drop. They're 3-11.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
NBA Australia reference.
What a great band. Richmond 2-12, and your beloved North Melbourne 1-13. Stats boy.
Yeah.
Is there a column though for honourable losses?
I was literally about to say that. I think there should be
HLs
because we've got 2 or 3 now.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah.
Nice
we should get a point for that.
I love that. The biggest ones though, I think, before we get into the vent session, the fraud watch, that's kind of almost what this is, right? This ladder at the moment. We're sort of seeing like a hint of separation, I guess. Like top 2, obviously,
from the
standing
top 2.
there.
Oh, yeah.
But basically almost from the top 4 because you have the Swans, Carlton, Essendon, Collingwood. They're obviously literally a game up on everybody. But there is at least a quality to those 4 teams that I feel like we've talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
Like, those 4 teams can probably beat
best.
most of the teams below them.
Well,
probably.
I was going to talk about that later, but I can
Essendon.
Bring it up now about Essendon.
Yep.
The fact that they're third,
question
is very worrisome. They've only beaten 1 team in the top 11, and they're third. So how does that work?
That's chaos.
Yeah.
Fraud Adelaide as well in 7th, soon to be 8th as they get jumped by Freo.
They're making finals, I don't think.
Let's do that. Let's get into Sesh. Fraud Adelaide is just still like the funniest thing. I'm
glad I'm not a Port fan. I'd be so frustrated right now.
So I've got 2 little things here for vent sesh for this week.
Yes.
Booing Ken Hinkley. Yeah, nah.
I don't think you should boo your own team. That's my opinion on any sport. I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I've got this on, and they love to do that when they have a few losses. But no, I don't think you should boo your own team ever. You can boo other things. But
I find that but you have a sense of excellence about the Celtics, right? They hold them to a high standard.
To be fair, Celtics won the most championships.
The funnier aspect is that when the Philadelphia 76ers boo their own team.
And they don't win anything.
And so you've not won anything since 1983.
Yeah. Well, same as Port, you could say the same thing.
Port,
they don't win anything.
Haven't won since, 04?
Yes.
But the point being, them booing Ken Hinkley, servant of the club, it's like, yeah, it's tough. But they've just looked so, and I don't like using this word, but they've looked insipid.
Insipid?
And just
you don't like that word?
Rubbish. Anyway, we'll talk about them again later. The other one is a bit of fraud watch. So I mentioned Stephen May. Slings his head into the ground.
He's going to get
Slings his own head into the ground.
Slings his own head into the ground. Should get an Oscar for that performance. Absolute joke.
So what I hated about this is not only that Stephen May did that, but the night before, Brian Taylor, the esteemed BT, Bristle himself. Boy, oh boy, stats boy, wow, wee. Sam Walsh just threw his own head into the ground.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
He threw his own head into the ground. No, he got tackled and his head hit the ground.
Exactly.
What are we doing here?
His was fine.
This is there's a lot of chatter out there basically going, he definitely, made it look worse than it was.
The momentum was that way.
His arms are pinned.
Yeah.
What is he meant to do?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
There is a lot of players doing it, though, which is annoying me so much. And this is the first one that's being called out on it. Stephen May, not Sam
This
Walsh.
is my point. The fact that Stephen May then the very next day actually did it makes it like we could have had a clear runway of just yelling at BT
Yeah.
for going, oh, he bashes his head against the ground on purpose. It's like, that's an insane statement to say. And then Stephen May comes
Actually
out
does it, yeah.
and did it.
Oh, I can't stand it.
So
There's
thanks
actually
a
a
lot,
few
Stephen
players
May.
been doing it this year, and it's so dumb. They're going to hurt themselves. They're going to hurt players. Anyway, that's a whole nother argument.
And to continue the BT thread just for a second, he's getting shouted down on the internet. Like, not that he cares.
No, there's a petition, isn't there?
There is a petition
Yes.
for Channel 7 to just get him off the air.
Yeah.
Like, many would say about time.
Oh, he used to be awesome.
look,
He's dropped off, yeah.
I'm right here, Stats Guy. I will put my hand up to be the lead commentator.
Do you have to be like BT?
I've got the beard. It's a bit bristly. I didn't oil it today, so she's a bit ragged. But I think my biggest problem with this was watching that game on Friday night. So you were at it. Watching
Yes,
it
I didn't
at
hear the
home,
commentary that much, yeah.
a few tins deep. And you're like, couldn't you just, I don't know, you're the lead caller for a game. You could at least sound barely interested in it.
Yeah, he sometimes just goes on tangents, but Friday night you don't need that.
You don't need, it was not
It's a
even the
big game.
tangents. It's quite literally just like you sound bored.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a really good game. Carlton are like playing awesomely. He did
get
it
around.
quite literally like weeks ago when Sydney were just demolishing teams.
He was
Well,
just
you're like,
excited from Sydney, yeah.
what is happening? What is happening? I feel like your lead caller should be trying to sell your game, not just be like, how good is my job? It's like,
Yeah,
shut up,
how good
idiot.
am I? Yeah.
Anyway, good stuff. Let's do some game wraps. Hey, Friday was good, Stats Boy.
Yeah, if your team's putting up 138 points on the Cats, that's a good night right there.
21 goals, 12, with 12 different goal kickers.
Awesome.
Very nice. Charlie kicked 5 and we still had 21 different goal kickers. Sorry,
No,
12.
21 different
goals.
goal kickers.
That'd
Jeez.
be pretty good. Hey, you get a goal.
You get a goal.
Jim, come down here. You get a goal.
That one night Jim did the scores and
love
Carlton scored 272 points. Hey,
Dominated.
AFL record.
But 21-12, 138 to 11 goals, 975. The best full Carlton game of the year. Because they've
Yes.
had like these moments
I
where
agree,
they
yeah.
look that good, but it's for a quarter and a half. It's
Yep.
like when they beat GWS, when they beat the Suns heads in at Marvel. Weirdly enough, it had like against Essendon as well. Like a lot of that game, like they sort of kept them at arm's length.
But it was still,
But it was still a contest,
Yeah.
and like they just kicked Geelong's head in.
yeah, the whole way through.
Like you
Yeah.
were just walking down a street in Corio and got jumped.
I had a mate's dad that were with. He left at halftime. He was filthy Geelong supporter. I don't think anyone should ever be leaving at halftime, but that's a bit of a joke.
That is a bit of a
But yeah, Geelong fans were not happy at the G.
Tom de Koning. Now he's the best de Koning.
Oh yeah,
There can be only one.
he
It's
dominated
Highlander.
him. They were getting in
They
the
look
fight.
like Highlander. I think we should give him a sword.
Yeah, why not?
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But I love a bit of brother on brother biffo because I have three
Started
younger
in the ruck
brothers
together.
who are all bigger than I am. And so now they can bash me. Like it's obviously not very hard. I'm old, I'm decrepit. But at the same time, Tom de Koning and Sam de Koning going at it and just like the
Awesome.
back and forth, just the absolute biff. That was unreal. And TDK had the highest rated game of the year.
Unbelievable.
Of any player.
Huge Supercoach score.
That was unreal. I love you, TDK.
Apparently, he wasn't just getting into him because like brother and brother. He was in Geelong during the week, and Sam didn't invite him over for dinner, and he wasn't happy. He said, "You're a crap brother." I was almost going to swear that. You're a crap brother. You didn't invite me to dinner. I'm going to get into you on the weekend, and that's why he got into him.
I invited my three younger brothers to come bowling with me on the weekend.
There you go.
And none
You
of them
gotta-
came. So I'm gonna bash every single one of them. The thing is,
That did not go where I thought
They
that
all
was
still
gonna
live in Ballarat though. So I'm like, it was basically, oh yeah, if you guys want to come, don't come.
Is there a bowling?
I've already booked it.
We're going to go bowling in Ballarat.
I did go bowling in Ballarat last year for my birthday. It was great fun.
Sounds like a TV show.
1 million
Bowling in
beers as well. Couple of other things. Obviously, Charlie kicked 5, but it was everyone else booting snags. That was probably
Owies was awesome.
Owies was fantastic. But I think when Harry Mackay kicks straight for just like gets 2 snags early, you're like, oh yes.
I thought Harry McFly was on.
I think he kicked his the second was like maybe in the third quarter. You're like,
Yeah.
they're going to win this game now. Like,
'Cause he's
it's
kicking
fine.
straight,
He's just
yeah.
kicking straight. And that's like, they turn into a different team, like just in terms of confidence once he's actually kicking straight.
Yep.
And outside of that, there was the weird, like if Carlton had if this had been closer, this would be a much bigger thing. The Jeremy Cameron goal, Stats Boy.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been a goal.
So Mitch McGovern is standing there.
That was a joke.
This is the line, and Jeremy Cameron's like 2 meters that way.
After the siren, when
After the
you
siren.
have to stay on your line.
You have to stay on the line.
Like I see it
away
all the
we go.
time in playing local footy, but you've got the umpire standing right there. I don't know what was going on with that. How the hell they?
Oh, you
let that
can
happen.
have a natural arc. It's like you
Natural
can't
arc?
just
No, you
go.
can't in-
you can't go off there after the
No,
siren.
after
What are we
the-
doing here?
You can if it's a normal kick, but not after the siren.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But again, I think the biggest thing. So we always do. How do the two fan bases feel
Yes.
after this game? For the Cats, I think their fans are going to be like, why do we look so old and slow?
Looks so slow, yeah.
And like Ollie Dempsey, when he gets the ball, electric. Love that. Graham Myers, electric. But he's not exactly like, hey, let me just shred up the wing and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know which Guthrie's good week to week. You're like, come on.
Well, one of them's injured.
Exactly. One of them's not playing. And you're like, are you the good one or the bad one?
No, Zach's
no
been
one
good.
knows.
Zach's been good this year.
Zach's like, I don't even know, Jim. Settle down, bro.
I don't even know which one I am.
Tom Stewart's being tagged out of the competition. He's going to have to retire at the end of the season. Like, it's all chaos. Like,
now, Carlton fans will be very happy. Top two, they know that they are like closer to Sydney than any, not just because of the ladder. You've got a big drop off after Carlton on the ladder.
Carlton fans would also be stoked on the other guys. So this is a big
Cripple
NBA,
is awesome, but
big
the other
NBA
guys.
term, right? Like the other guys. I hate it because it sort of sells short role players, but
It's true though.
it's you can always talk about how like the quality of a team is like how good their worst four players are and
That's
stuff
every
like that.
every
right?
team. In every sport, I reckon.
But really, it's kind of like for Carlton, you're like, we know that Cripps is awesome, 41 touches.
Yep.
Sam Walsh, another 33 or whatever it was. Fantastic. Charlie, Harry. But it's the likes up the back of Weeders, of McGovern, of Sard. When they're playing fantastic, they looked unreal. Brody Kemp turned himself into a player. But then in the middle, it's like this game, Hewitt dominated, Kennedy dominated.
He was good,
They were both fantastic. And this team's still got Chera and Cottrell and stuff to come back in. So I don't know.
This is the most positive I've ever seen you about Carlton.
Well,
because they looked amazing.
They looked awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll take that.
There you go.
Hey, Saturday, there's a team that didn't look very good. Port Adelaide, 73. Brisbane, 152. 23 goals, 14 stats, boy.
That
The
is
Lions.
ridiculous, the amount of shots they've had there. What is it?
Up
37 scoring shots. That is everyone get a goal. Actually, everyone get a scoring shot because there was a few misses, obviously, but the Lions are back.
They started slowly as well.
I know.
It was chaos. Like they were basically, Rashudo was basically banging on about the simple fact, oh yeah, boys, I've had a little like the 450 like 7 times and I got like 3 scores. And you're like, Rashudo, lay off the pins before you
genuinely a good impression.
don't drink before you think. What are you doing? He's like, oh, you're not my mum, Jim, shut up.
I think that's just how he talks.
But anyway, look, they looked directionless, I think was the big thing I used for power.
Well,
there was so much
good insight there, yeah.
back and forth, faffing about is another technical term that I enjoy using.
Technical term.
So much faffing. It's like watching them play football is like someone farting in an elevator. You're like, I don't like this at all. Get me out of here.
Well,
right, like you've got the big forwards of the Lions, but the way that Port were attacking, it just never felt
just
coherent.
bomb it every time.
There was no plan. It felt like it was just gross. Like between Butters, Rosie, Horn Francis had like over 20 touches. Houston had over 20 touches, but it felt like Hornet was like butchering it every time he touched it. He kicked 0 goals, 3.
Yep.
Houston wasn't as impactful as you would rather think. And you think about, as I just mentioned with Carlton, those other guys. Who are those other guys for Port?
I'm
is
having a look.
It Bergman? Like who?
Bergman's been good, but he's not.
He's been fine. But
he's
like
okay.
Georgiades has been really good. But like Finlayson stinks.
Yep.
And you're like,
Charlie Thatcher only with 6 touches. I know he's a backman, but you need to get some more intercept marks and things like that. It's not looking good. I reckon on the whiteboard, Ken just writes, Rosie, Butters, do everything.
Do everything.
Just points an arrow to where they're kicking and then they just go out there.
Wildly unimpactful as well. But like you look at their entire thing this offseason, right? It was like, we'll recruit like just handy footballers. Zirk Thatcher, Soldo, Radigalia.
Which made them look better, but this hasn't gelled at all.
It's also like, those are also still very meh names. Like, it's
especially
meant to like it's meant to raise your floor.
Yes.
And it has not done that.
It's just
all.
the same, yeah.
Still,
the Lions looked amazing though.
The Lions looked incredible, and it might be just like we're putting the boot into Port maybe a little bit too early, but that might be just like 3 straight losses. They just look bad.
Like at home, I wouldn't have minded if they lost to Brisbane because Brisbane at their best should be top 4 because they were in the grand final last year. But the fact that they lost by 79 at home when you're supposed to be a finals team, that is an absolute joke.
Like, you know how cool it is to see games at the Adelaide Oval.
It's great. It's the best venue.
Fan just go, this sucks. Yeah. I should be having fun.
You have to get more of those mega pints, and then otherwise, what's the point of going there?
Imperial pints.
Yeah,
never change Adelaide. But the Lions, they rode the big forwards. Joey Duckett's, he was very handy.
Eric.
And then Hipwood went, that's cute. Check this out. 5 more.
5, yeah.
Bang on your head.
Awesome.
He's in a purple patch. I also love that they're basically just going, all right, you be really awesome this week.
Yeah, we'll switch it
And
up.
then
We'll switch it up. Yeah.
I'll be really good next week. It's like, off we go. And they just sort of change it. But for me, it's like Brucey Reville and like Logan Morris and stuff like that. Talk about the depth. Like, this is a team. I was trying to explain it the other day, right? It was like they had so many injuries early on in the season. It sort of felt like it completely just turned their structures inside out. And they're like, what do we do? How do we do this?
And it helped. It's sort of worked now.
They've slowly just figured it out. And it's like, wait a minute.
Put in Zorko half back. I've got my words out there.
So Zorko at half back. Like these, like Dunkley's getting way more of the ball. Neil has gotten back to his best.
Neil was awesome, yeah.
Neil was incredible in this game.
37, yeah.
Also, an interesting decision to go, geez, you know what worked last time Neil played was to tag him.
Nah, we won't do that again.
What sort of idiot would do that?
Yeah,
Great job,
the tag is
Kingsley.
back, and Ken obviously hasn't got the message yet.
But the Lions look fantastic. Great game by them. How are the two fan bases feeling after this? Port, they're just going to go walk into the River Torrens and just like, I'm done.
Get the is the zip line still there? Just jump off the zip line straight into the torrents.
Just keep the zip lines on.
Zip line down.
Just back and forth. Just back and forth. Oh, this is the only way I could feel anything.
Mate, can you be sad on a zip line? I don't know.
Don't think so.
No.
Brisbane fans will be up and about. They're going to be like, yes, this is where was this for like the first half of the season?
They're finally back.
And they look incredible again. I think, yes, the next step for Brisbane is just like Gabbatoir.
Yes, they need to get that fortress going.
Get that vibe back. Don't lose there again for the rest of the season, and you are laughing.
Yep.
Because if you look at like Brisbane's, so what are they? They were in
ninth.
They were in ninth. They've been jumped by Freo, so they probably ducked it back down.
But they're right in the finals hunt now.
But they play the Demons next week at home. They play Adelaide up there as well. Then they play in what will be one of the biggest games of the season. The Sydney Swans on July 21 at the Gabbatoir. You win that game.
I think Alex is going to that.
Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That would be great.
Outside of that, they've got GWS up there, Essendon North.
Oh, they won't be North.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm just joking.
Brisbane. I guess you could say I'm back. There was a battle of the bridge as well on Saturday.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm all over the shop. Did GWS know that the Battle of the Bridge was actually on? Because they didn't turn up.
They didn't show up early.
Well, early, yeah.
They kicked 8 of the last 10 goals. They were down 58, I think it was.
Yep.
What is going on with GWS?
Oh, again, they're another team on paper. Look a lot better than Port Adelaide. They started the season off so strongly, exactly the same as Geelong. Couldn't lose. And now they just cooked. I don't know what's going on there.
So we sent our intrepid reporter, Alex Donnelly, to this game. When
we sent him there. Yeah.
When I say we sent him, I say he just went.
Yes. No, we sent him.
And he's like, I need to speak. And we're like, we don't care. Like, your team is the best team in the competition. It's the best team in the AFL, in the history of the AFL. We get it. He's like, all right, Finn Callahan's handsome. And also, Rowbottom's awesome.
Well, Alex actually got a shout out on the Sydney Swans official page, which is pretty cool on Twitter. That's pretty cool.
Very nice. But his point, I think, is that Rowbottom finally got a Brownlow vote in this game.
Finally,
he reckons.
Yeah. Oh,
he reckons. I want to see him.
Does the umpires know who Rowbottom is, though?
Do the umpires know who Alex is? To be honest,
yes, they do, because they can hear him in the crowd.
I was going to say, if they met him, they're like, oh, I just want this guy to shut up. Jeez. Give him a vote to shut him up. Oh, God.
Rowbottom was awesome, though. He's pressure. He just does a bit of everything. I do like him.
So did they make Cleary the sub in this game as well?
I actually need to have a look.
Because that then happened in the Melbourne game as well, which is not great.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
But Alex's other points from this game, that NG is very, very fun. It sucks to get to.
Yes, he was Cleary.
But it rules as a stadium. I think he was angry about something, but like this is the thing. So my secret is I'm always angry. Alex is like, shut up, I'm the angriest. And you're like, yeah, that's all right. So there's something about the music. And he's like, I'm just angry. It's like they're playing Thunderstruck. It's like, I have thoughts about music.
Thunderstruck's fine.
It's playing Thunderstruck.
Yeah, it's Aussie.
I don't care. Like, that's just the
great
greatest
song.
pump-up music of all time. So I would prefer Shoot the Thriller. That's an absolute banger that kind of gets overlooked. Until I think they used it in Iron Man 2 or something.
They did.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was great.
And everyone realised just how good that was. Anyway, so the rest of this game, the Swans.
It was pouring, and the Swans getting over 100 again is a good effort in the wet.
15-12, so 102 to 75.
Yep.
You're like, 27-point game. It must have been close. It was not close.
No, not
it was
at all.
Close.
Not at all.
Errol Goulden, whoa, Errol, you kicked a goal and had 41. Like, what a game.
Why did that work so?
Was it actually, I don't know if he kicked the goal. I'm just saying that. I think he did.
He had 10 scoring moments, so surely one of them was a goal. Let's have a quick
You'd hope
look.
so, because I just nailed that. Now I've talked myself out.
Or whatever. Oh, he might not have. Let's have a quick look. Gru kicked 2 goals, by the way. Despicable Me comes out and Gru plays at the same time.
He was the debutant this week.
Yes, for GWS.
Yeah.
He was great.
Gru.
He did kick a goal. There you go.
Love that. I nailed it then.
Your song is just perfect.
No, I'll never doubt myself again. Rowbottom had 20 contested possessions and 10 score involvements.
You love to see that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, underrated. I'll agree with Alex on this
Probably
one.
did get a Brownlow vote in
I
there.
don't know. There's a lot of good players in this
But I
game.
think the biggest thing, so we talked about Carlton having 12 different goal scorers. I think the Swans had kicked 15 goals and had 11,
Wow.
which is absurd.
That is
so
crazy.
there was a couple for
No
Chad.
Marty party.
Chad, Papley, McLean and Will Hayward all kicked 2. Everybody else got around the goals as well.
Nice.
Somehow a Marty party did not happen.
Did he even kick one?
He kicked 0 goals, 1.
He didn't even kick one after kicking 9. That is, come on,
I
mate.
predicted him to kick 20 in.
Or is he gone, I've kicked 9, so I don't have to kick any for the next 5 weeks? Is that what he's thinking?
GWS. What do we do?
Oh,
If you're a fan of GWS.
maybe just switch everyone's positions.
If you're a fan of GWS, the GWS, Greater Western Sydney Giants, it was a big, big sound. It's now much more of a whimper. Like they beat Port last week, but that doesn't feel like big chops at all.
Yeah.
They lost to Hawthorn the week prior. They beat Geelong in Geelong that week at the end of May. Cool.
Just so up and down.
They play Adelaide in Adelaide next week.
That's
A fraud ball if ever.
That
Like,
is-
they have
yeah,
to win
they
that,
have
or it's
to
like
win that.
pack her up, boys, you're done. Like
I think it still comes down to the offense. I know they ended up kicking 75. That's still not. They need to be back to the start of the season where the first 5 weeks they were kicking 100 plus.
There was
whereas
also
Hogan
that,
was everywhere.
So speaking of the Hogan goal, where it's like the deliberate out of bounds, like over the, and then Hogan gets like lined up randomly, but kicks it anyway.
Yes.
Just another one of the umpires this week. So according with the Jeremy Cameron one as well, I think by the letter of the law, the Hogan one was okay, but at the same time, like the Jeremy Cameron, like
Just
why do
little
we have
rules
4
that are easy.
umps now? If, like, we still just don't get basic stuff right. Anyway,
I agree.
Sydney, how are their fans feeling?
Oh, same as the last 10 weeks.
Well, if I
and
just
about.
check my watch now, I'm like, Alex is like hammered. So that's about it. I think
They should get hammered.
he's had like 2 beers and he's off. Anyway, but Swans fans will be stoked. They look incredible. They win the Sydney derby, the Battle of the Bridge.
Yes.
Never basically broke a sweat.
No, they did it so easily.
Even when GWS were sort of coming hard at him, it's like, we're
Like,
fine.
we're good. Yeah.
Like, whatever, dudes.
It's just Angie.
Nice one. Saturday night, it's all right for fighting. Also, I don't know, good if you want a Melbourne Demons win. 70-67 over your North Melbourne brethrens. The stats boy, your Roos. Take us through this game.
Very, very scrappy. There just wasn't many goals at all in the first half. I think it was 40-25. The Demons fans, I've said this for probably the last couple of years, unless Melbourne are winning, they do not turn up, and it frustrates me so much. They're going at their ski chalets and having their cheese boards down there, I think, because no one was at the G. It is cold, all right, but that's every year the footy's cold. Just put your beanie on. It was the breast cancer awareness beanies were around, so chuck one of your beanies on.
They play football in winter.
Yeah, well, Melbourne don't know that because they don't like turning up. North, very average first half, but just tried to lock it down defensively. That's why the game was really scrappy. They had Phillips tagging Oliver, which wasn't good for your SuperCoach team.
Yep.
Obviously, Oliver only got 30-something, only 14 touches. Phillips literally couldn't get in the team, and now he's been an awesome tagger. So the first move Clarko's done, where I'm like, oh, he's actually made a good move. Now he's a master coach. Now he's a master coach.
It only took him a year and a half to come up with something master coach.
Yeah. But then even this Cherry versus Gawn matchup was awesome. You got 2 of the best ruckmen going head to head. I'm just so worried about the D's fitness. North kicks the last 6 goals of the game in the last 45 minutes. Almost got him over the line. Oliver looked so unfit. So they just couldn't run. They couldn't keep up with LDU, Shees and things like that. I hate to say this because we lost by 3 points and they got over the line. But it was like a mini win for North, and that was like a loss for the Demons because they should be beating us by at least
6 straight goals to 0
60 points
at the end.
Yeah. The last 45 minutes, they didn't even score a goal.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
I don't know. I feel like this is the problem for when you send away your fitness guru, Joel Smith. I mean, there was a Motley Crue song, Stats Boy, Dr. Feelgood. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
Joel Smith might have been that guy.
I don't know.
What are we doing?
Possibly.
You keep him away from the team. Look what happens. The wheels, they're off.
They're off.
Clayton Oliver's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, he was
what
off.
do I do?
Oh,
How do I play foot? I love that people are like, oh, he didn't have a preseason, man. It's round 15.
I know.
Clayton Oliver,
You're a professional
cooked,
athlete,
mate.
yeah. That's what. People were saying that during the game. They're like, oh, yeah, he just still looks a bit unfit. The season's almost done, and you're still unfit. That's just
Makes
not
no
good at all.
sense.
Yeah, LDU was awesome. He had 31 and a goal. Sheasel had 27 and 2 goals. I'm trying to see the goal kickers for Melbourne. It wasn't a good game. I'm very, very biased
I
towards
like that
North,
you're like,
even though Melbourne won.
We're looking for the goal kickers from Melbourne. It's like,
There's not
they
that
were
many.
as well.
Yeah.
So.
And Lucky actually didn't
Daniel
even
Turner
get a goal.
kicked 2.
Yeah, Disco, they call him. Disco Turner. Rue was
Van
solid.
Rooyen kicked 1. Sparrow kicked 1. Trent Rivers, Cozzy, Petty, A and B, Tommy McDonald, Maximus Aurelius.
They just need a guy that they can guarantee 2 or 3 goals every week, which they don't have.
Bailey Fritsch, but he...
Well, actually, that was another one. Jackson Archer shut him down. That was probably his best ever game, Jackson Archer, and North fans were very happy about that.
Christian Salem went off with an seeming injury at some point as well, which is just horrible. If like the Demons are going, what are we doing?
Yeah, but just kind of injuries and everyone's sad. That's pretty much the Demons at the moment.
Still, if if you want to make like loud, annoying statements, they're not going to play finals.
Definitely not.
Okay. If they do, I don't know. Can they turn this around?
I just think I've said definitely not to so many teams playing finals. So maybe Melbourne still can, but
I just don't trust their pop gun offense, right? Like it's been horrible. They
only been
kick scores. They kicked 70 on North Melbourne this week.
Yeah.
They scored 51 against the Pies, 49 against the Dockers. There was that random game where they scored 100 on St Kilda, but outside of that, 70 against the Eagles, 76 against Carlton, 74 against Geelong, like 85 against Richmond back in April. 60 prior to that. They've, topped 78 like 3 times all season. That's horrible.
Maybe they need to bring back some old players. What was it? Brad Green used to kick a few snacks. I don't know why.
Gary Lyon,
bring him back.
How do the two fan bases feel about these ones? Well, the Demons are just like, hey, we got to win. Wait, did we play this week?
Oh, they didn't turn up, so they
weren't there. Was it 28,000 there?
Oh, I don't even know what it was, but it looked like hardly anyone.
And how are North fans feeling, Stats Boy?
Oh, look, a lot more positive. Last 3 weeks, we've been consistently okay, so I'll take it. Yeah, we have been so consistently bad to go and have show something. All the young guys stepping up. As a North fan, I'm pretty happy.
It's just like West Coast because they lost to Essendon today, but they still scored 92 points, which is kind of.
It was a fun game. Yeah,
122-92. The Bombers kicked away at the end. They survived a bit of a scare. Jakey Stringer kicked 5, then went MIA when it mattered late.
Yes,
but then they steadied and they were fine. So, why was that? Zach Merritt's awesome.
Yeah, and Durham. I love.
But so is Sam Durham.
I love watching both.
And Jai Caldwell.
Yes.
They rule.
When Caldwell is fit, he's an absolute jet. He just had so many injuries in his career.
Caddy came in for Goldie at the last minute as well. It's like, that's not a like-for-like replacement, but I kind of like it.
He kicked a really cool snag from the boundary,
great.
a massive snap, yeah.
Was it his second game? He's kicked 2 goals in that one?
Yeah.
Durham was incredible though. 29 disposals, 5 clearances and a goal.
Not bad.
Caldwell was really impressive. Zerrett had 29 and a goal and gave up one to Dyson Heppel right at the end as well. Yep. Very nice. The Bombers, with Ridley back, Martin back. Well, Martin's been playing the inside side, but quite literally in the back line. When they get their run and carry going, you're like, cool, but they looked weirdly disorganised against this Eagles team early. They were down in this game early, and you're like, here we go.
I was hoping.
How is this going to happen to the best team in the AFL?
There's how many best teams in the AFL there?
Well, it goes Sydney, Essendon, Collingwood.
Where's Carlton?
They're horrible. Insane. Oscar Allen came back and kicked his mandatory 2+.
He heard us. He watched the podcast and he goes, boys, I'm back. 2+
Oscar Allen
for you guys.
loves AFL Today. He's like, boys, I got you.
Yeah.
Full name, Oscar Allen, 2+ goals.
Yeah.
It was very good. Cripps was very, very, very handy as well.
Yeah.
But without Harley, like, to be honest, for them to put up this much of a fight and scare the pants off of Essendon without Harley Reid and Tim Kelly was pretty impressive, I thought.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They had, just not quite enough, between, McGovern down back, their wings, they do give up possession way too easy, I feel.
They just got a few, it comes down to the depth part. You got Essendon who have a lot more depth than West Coast. That's why West Coast are bottom 3 in the ladder. And that's the only reason that's what it came down to, I think. And Essendon mids kicking goals. That's why they're third. I think I said this the other week. Every one of their mids has just been kicking goals every week. Merritt's kicking a goal every week. Caldwell's obviously coming to the side now and doing really well. So it's working well.
Now, Ben Mackay has more wins in 14 games with Essendon than in 6 years at North Melbourne.
I knew that one. I was hoping it didn't get brought up. But yeah, sad times. Good for Ben. I like Ben Mackay. But
yeah, he's still the worst brother.
The worst brother. Yeah, he definitely is.
How do the two fan bases feel about this? Essendon relief more than anything.
Relief.
Because they nearly coughed up a game against West Coast earlier this year, you might remember.
Yes.
Held on to win that.
6 points, yeah.
And then it looked like history was going to repeat itself. West Coast, we know, have been horrible on the road.
Yeah, this is their best. That's probably their best game they've been showings on the road.
They got absolutely belted from pillar to post by Adelaide 3 weeks ago.
What the
hell? And then they turn around and put up a really good fight against Essendon. So you'll be like, this is what we want to see. We just want to see those younger dudes just play well.
Yeah. But and Essendon, I'd still be a little bit worried.
Yep.
But they're just laughing at third because they're like, we're not even that good, but we're third.
And in my point of view, they're still the best team in the AFL.
Okay.
Non-Sydney division. Finally, Freo, way to go. They went and did the old heave-ho on Gold Coast.
They did.
Because Gold Coast played below the 28th degree latitude.
They've done it again, Gold Coast. Prove us wrong, Gold Coast.
Prove me wrong, Gold Coast. Prove me wrong. 85-65. Tracy was fantastic.
Love
Jordan
watching
Clark had that 5 bounce possession from the back half, which is fantastic. Set up a goal to Brayshaw.
When they're on at home, Freo are so fun to watch. It hasn't been, it's probably every 3 weeks that they're on.
So we had Eliza Riley on during the week
Yes.
to chat Freo and West Coast. And we were talking about the simple idea of like Freo at the best are like lockdown defense will score enough to win. Today it's just like, just check out these goals.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of goals.
No, but she was spot on because 85 is not like a massive
65.
score.
It's not a massive
And then
number.
they've only conceded 65, so defense wins.
They were very, very good. I enjoyed this game immensely just because it was sort of, well, it was a bit of a slog in the first quarter.
No, I thought it was a fun
They got
game,
off to a
yeah.
pretty slow start.
right.
But Freo played a very fun brand of football essentially down the stretch.
Yep.
Gold Coast came at them a little bit hard late, but it wasn't enough. They steadied. My big problem is Jaymz is just gone completely missing.
Yeah.
And had 2 touches in this game.
I think he's lacking
Sorry,
confidence or something.
6 touches, but yeah, kicked 0 goals too. And you're like, come on, man.
He
Like,
was their best forward last year. You got Tracy now, he's fired up. He's kicking 2 goals a game. Imagine you got
Sturt was
Amos.
really good as well.
Sturt was really
So-
good. If he fires up, their forward line's really good. You got Banfield kicking goals. Frederick's always good.
We'll talk about like mids kicking goals.
Yeah.
That's what Freo sort of suddenly were doing as well, right? You talked about that with Essendon. That's exactly what
Yeah.
Hayden Young did. He
They
kicked
chucked
3
Hayden Young at
goals.
full forward. I love that.
Kicked 3 snags.
Yep.
Caleb Sarong hit the scoreboard as well. Not a, he gets amongst the goals here
Yeah,
and
not
there.
every week though, yeah.
Jaeger Ramirez kicked a goal.
Yeah.
You're like, cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just everyone's-
I don't know what year this is, but that's radical. Andy Brayshaw kicked one as well. Sean Darcy plugged one from like outside 50.
Yep.
The Suns, though, this is the problem. Like, they just can't do it away from home.
No.
Took Miller had 33 touches. Stupid Sexy Flanders had 33 touches. And they still
There's a few
just-
nothing touches in there, yeah.
a lot of nothing touches.
Less
Matty Rao with
clearances.
23. It's like he doesn't like it away from the grass, the nice grass of people's first.
Has he
whatever
been
it is.
eating grass lately? I don't know. Maybe he hasn't.
Maybe he should eat more.
Maybe.
Or should he eat less? We don't
Does he
know.
have, imagine we just see him before the game.
AFL
Grass
Today
sandwich.
deep dive. How much grass is in your diet, Matt Rao? Right now, he's like, I only had 2 spoonfuls this week. So
2 spoonfuls.
you either need to double it or cut it out entirely.
Does he put it on his wheat bix like some people put strawberries, banana, or anything? He just
It
puts
says a
grass.
grass shake.
Grass shake. Well, actually, the other one I was going to
Leafy
say.
greens.
Maybe. The other thing I was going to say was Gold Coast, about away from home. They average 106 points when they're playing at home, obviously above the 28 latitude, but then they only average 58 points away. 58, almost half. That is bad.
I'm just going to posit this for a second. If you average 50 points less a game
Yeah.
on the road,
You're never going to win.
I think there might be a problem.
Yeah. What the
Just a thought I've had there.
Like when they're at home, all their home fans, when they go to the game, go, geez, we could be, this team should be top 4. If they just played at home, they'd be.
They played every game in the Northern Territory and at home, they'd be unbeatable.
They wouldn't lose.
Right. Fan bases. Freo, they're going to be looking at this going, just good.
We know we're good.
Good.
Yeah.
I think there was a point where, was it Schofield or someone was like saying on the call, maybe Jared Healy, so, there's a premiership in this team. It's like, is there?
That's a big call. I think
it's really talented, but I want to see them just, like, if they, so what is this, round 15?
they're up to 5th, which we talked about before.
That's it.
Yeah.
They play Sydney next week.
Oh, well,
In Sydney.
If
Like-
they get it close to Sydney,
If they somehow, however unfeasible it might seem, win that game,
yeah.
you're like, you're the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. You're pointing at the TV. You're like, hey, there we go.
A bit of a.
They then play Richmond, Hawthorn, Melbourne, West Coast. They could win all 4 of those.
Ooh.
Essendon, Geelong, GWS.
I
and
did
then
say top
Port.
4, but this is why Freo's annoying. Who do they lose to? They got smashed by the Dogs last week.
Exactly.
So we
They
just
could
don't
also
know.
lose like a bunch of those games.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If you're a Freo fan, you look at this going, can we just finish out this season really strong? Try to like scooch past
Just
like,
some consistency.
Essendon or Collingwood even get top 4.
Yeah.
But just make the 8 and we're
Yeah.
happy. For Gold Coast fans, she's like, there was a game on?
Well, like I said about Gold Coast fans, just don't watch a game that is away.
Yep.
Just only watch home games.
All right. Tipping results really quickly.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I think I went.
I got one wrong.
Apart from North. I
Yeah, I
nailed
tipped North
everything,
as
yeah.
well. I was like, I'm a genius.
So 5 out of 6.
Yeah, I think I got the same. Yeah.
North, you're killing me.
Ah.
All right, full credit to the boys. Best team of round 15. The points go to a dominant Sydney Swans team.
Too good.
Just
Sick of
joking.
talking-
Carlton.
Carlton, he's
No. Sydney
switched
are
it
the
up.
best team in 50 years. So no one's touching them.
No.
this was adverse conditions. It was a derby.
Yep.
It was an away game, essentially. They just went, that's cute. Bang.
Yeah.
They were absolutely fantastic in this game to the point where like all the stats sort of backing it up. And as I said, was it 15 goals kicked with 11 different goal scorers, which is just fantastic stuff. But Sydney now, all they do is win, 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 no matter what. That's it. They just win no matter what. And like that's the exact moment that you want to be. Well, that's the exact mode you want to be in.
Oh yeah.
As the best team in
And
the
they're
AFL.
like really confident, happily strutting around everywhere.
So they've ripped off. How many games straight do you reckon they've scored over 100 points?
Ooh,
It's 5. Don't believe me.
I was going to say like 8.
But before that, they had they've literally gone 98 points prior to that,
Oh,
and
that's
they've
still pretty
topped
much
100 points in the vast majority of their games this season.
flying. Even in wet conditions.
It's chaos. They are the best team in the comp. And if you look at some of the stats from that game as well, like specifically the team stats, like it sort of doesn't seem to matter that they'll give up more possessions to the other team. Just the way they clamp them and then the efficiency at which they sort of operate is just insane. 72.2% efficiency inside 50, over 53%. Like that is just sick. Like they're awesome.
They are awesome. They're so good to watch.
Awesome in the stoppages. Brody Grundy's just added just a completely different element to them.
Yeah.
They rule. Stats boy.
I'm going Brisbane. They have their mojo back. We just talked them up before. Their offense, I don't think anyone can beat their offense when they're firing. 4 of the last 5 weeks, they've had over 30 scoring shots, which is just insane. They've kicked a lot of points, so if maybe they straighten up a little bit, but they've got 152, 126, 114, and 163. That's 4 of the last 5 weeks. They're just kicking massive scores. I'm just loving what I'm seeing from Brisbane, and they pretty much just sank all Port Adelaide fans, and they just were awesome. Yeah, their forward line's just firing. Everyone's kicking goals. You get a goal. Everyone get a goal. Love it.
Honourable mention, my beloved Carlton.
Yeah, they were great.
Best on ground of the week. Who gets the cookies? Who gets the biscuits? Who gets the orange slices? Who gets a free tin after the game? Whoa, Errol.
He's back.
He kicked a goal and had 41. He was incredible in that game. Amazingly enough, Patrick Cripps also had 41 touches.
Yeah, just some of the best players. I like it.
Cripps really sort of going, yeah, another Brownlow would be good. Yes,
He's sneaking up.
Because I think we've now hit a bit of a point where you might actually see some of the Sydney dudes taking votes away from each other. Like you think about Chad Warner, you think about Isaac Heaney, Errol Gouldens, like they're sort of throughout the year.
They're all going to be taking votes.
Probably just sort of nipping away like each other's sort of vote. Like
Heaney will still be right up there. But
Heaney's been awesome, but like there's just the sheer volume, whereas like Cripps has just been awesome in like most of these games with the Blues. So he was incredible, but I think you were at that game.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't notice
the 41.
Yeah,
he was just always there.
Just lots of little handballs and the in and unders type stuff.
Off we go.
At the game, I would have said Walsh had a better like overall game, but the fact Cripps got 41, I was like, no, he didn't. I thought he would have had like 28, but he was awesome.
Walsh had a probably one of his better games in terms of like kicking efficiency and stuff like that, which is always nice to see. But Cripps had 27 handballs, 14 clearances.
Crazy.
And 4 hit-outs, because they also used him as like the backup ruck
the
at
size
times.
of a ruck, yeah.
See, that was a really interesting sort of thing that they did, right? So they had DeConing in the ruck, and it's like, all right, we'll go pinch hit Cripps against like Blixavs and stuff, right? So you're like, sure, Michael Voss. But anyway, Cripps was incredible. What a game. Errol Goulden, absolutely unstoppable. They're the 2 best players I saw this week. Stats boy.
Nice. I'm going just the signature Lockie Neal performance. 37 disposals, 10 clearances, 11 score involvements. He just did a bit of everything. I love watching him play when he's at his best. Didn't think he should have won. Did he win the last Brownlow? Yeah, yeah, he shouldn't have won the last Brownlow, but that was a Brownlow-like performance.
Look at this.
And yeah, absolutely love it.
Fighting words from Stats boy.
Everyone would agree with me on that one.
Lockie Neal's like, I'm not coming on your show now.
Yeah, he was supposed to come on next week. Oh, damn it.
You had him booked and everything.
Well, I'm talking him up now anyway. He got best on for me this week. He was absolutely awesome. And he's part of the reason when he's at his best, everyone on the Brisbane side just gets up and about. When he's getting those clearances straight to Joey and straight to Eric, they're unstoppable.
I feel like the Neal thing, though, the way that when he's firing, as long as like in tandem with Dunkley.
Yes.
So good.
That's why they got Dunkley, not just to rely on Neal.
Like Dunkley was just like, cool, Neal just got me the ball. Here comes another inside 50 on your head.
Cop that.
Sucked in power.
Yep.
Love it. There you go. Some pretty good names there. Just a couple of Brownlow winners and a future Brownlow winner. Maybe with Errol.
Possibly, yeah.
I don't know.
They've just got so many good guys.
They're so good.
I know. It's like maybe none of them will win a Brownlow ever because they've got too many guys that could win a Brownlow.
Yeah, just maybe Sydney should petition and go, can we just we'll just give it to everybody. Or
Like, their best and
midfielder
fairest
X.
race will be interesting, Sydney.
Old mate, no mates. Who's got no mates this week? Unfortunately, it's going to be Ken Hinkley, right? Like, this is going to be...
I wanted to put him in here. Yeah.
It's going to be the week of Ken Hinkley. Oh, should Ken go? It's like, they're not going to fire him mid-season. They've already sort of come out and said, that's not a thing that we're going to do. One of their assistant coaches is really, really highly regarded, and he'll be a future Port Adelaide head coach, basically.
Yep.
But 12 years on the job... That 152 points they gave up is the most they've ever given up. That is...
Wait, ever?
Really? Under Ken Hinkley.
Under Ken Hinkley. Yeah. Jeez.
It's getting booed during the game when they showed his face on the screen, getting booed after the game, copying abuse. It's not something that I'm usually just like, yeah, give it to him. Yeah.
I don't think you deserve that.
I don't think he quite deserves it.
No.
I think he's been a stalwart. I think he's a pretty good coach. But I do think...
He's stayed too long, though.
I think there's tenure problems.
Yeah.
And I think you get a point where even someone like Kevin Sheedy just hangs around for like, a couple of years
Mick
too long.
Malthouse, for example.
Malthouse, same sort of vibes. Pagan, maybe. But I don't know. He's been... Because he's never made a grand final. Like, never made a grand final in 12 years.
And they had some really good teams.
Awesome teams that made prelims, but they've never made a grand final.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a really tough week for Ken Hinkley. Simon Goodwin. Oh, mate, no mates. He made the debutant the sub as well, which is like not something that he apparently does.
I understand it a little bit because, you got teams. If there's someone coming in, they're probably not going to be your best player. But your family's rocking up to the game. You got all your mates, and then they might not even get it. I just hate it. AFL should make a new rule because John Longmire did it as well. They're just both annoying. John Longmire and Simon Goodwin. You shouldn't be able to use it. Yeah, so I'm agreeing with you on that one.
Yeah, Kyden Brown came in, replaced Salem in the fourth quarter, and it's just. It's such an old mate, no mates vibe because you're like, dude, it's his first game. Other people will come out and go, oh, we don't remember something like the greats of the game's debuts. It's like, that's not the point.
Yeah.
It's like this.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
This is the culmination of their career to this point. Yeah. They've made it. And you're like, nah, just go sit over there.
Sit on the bench for 3.5 quarters.
Until Christian Salem does a hammy.
Until someone like Petrarca gets hit by a truck.
Yeah. It's sort of just, it sucks. I don't like it. To be honest, I just don't like the sub. In general.
No, the sub should be. It's so unnecessary. Just put an extra person on the bench.
And Caden Cleary as well was your debutant.
Yeah.
That Longmire brought in as a sub, right? So,
yeah, same vibe.
Yeah. All right. That was my two. Stats boy.
I'm going Stephen May flopping. Not a good look from your leader, a leader of your side, when he's getting tackled. Eddie Ford is literally half his height, half his weight. Stephen May is one of the biggest guys in the entire AFL. He's huge. Eddie Ford is only a bit bigger than me. He's tackled him. He's put his head, I'm just going to do a little flop into and get a free kick. Absolute joke from a leader of your team. And I don't think that's a good look if you're playing with him and you go, one of my leaders on my team is just flopping everywhere. So, and he's going to get a fine apparently for it. So good.
So it's a good point. Old mate, no mates is an interesting concept, right? Because it's like the rest of your team would be like, what was that, Stephen, mate?
Yeah. And he's going to punch him again.
He's like, shut up or I'll punch your head in. You're like, fair play.
He's done it before.
I'm your mate again.
Yeah, so old mate, no mates. Just I had to get him in there against North as well.
Why I can't stand.
We have so many rant segments.
Yeah, 4 umpires in the field and they keep screwing up really basic stuff.
Yeah.
At least they got was it Charlie Cameron running all the way out of bounds, kicking towards goal in the Port Brisbane game. It's like, yeah, you've got boundary umpires right there looking at him. They eventually called it back. You're like, all right, good. But the Jeremy Cameron one was brutal.
Yeah,
there was 3 or 4 other ones throughout the week. You're like,
lots of throws.
Lots of just incorrect disposal gear. I'm like, I don't want to keep banging on about this. I just want them to get it right.
Dude, just do your job.
Call it the way just do your job. That's all we ask on the AFL Today Show. Just do your job.
Yep.
What can't you stand, Stats Boy?
Oh, I'll only quickly touch on this because I already said it before, but just Bombers being third. I know a lot of Essendon fans that are very excited. They've only beaten one team in the top 11.
But they're still the best team in the AFL non-Sydney division.
Apparently they're the best team in the AFL. You can ask any Essendon fan that, or Jim, apparently. So I just can't stand that.
Number one Essendon fan over here. Yeah. Just saying, because they're unreal.
You're going to have to get a scarf that has Sydney, Carlton and Essendon on, I reckon. That's one of those people that wear or a jersey.
Yeah, I'll be like one of the mums in the NFL.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We actually had that the other day, didn't we? It was like...
The
Mackay's.
Oh,
Mackay's. It was like she had the...
Oh, she did.
She had the split jersey.
I like that, yeah.
It's like...
you need a tribe jersey or something like that.
I like it. Good one. SuperCoach Wash really quickly from the end of the round. What do we got? Tom DeConing, 176. Now,
awesome.
If you had been listening to little official AFL SuperCoach podcast hosted by your mate Jim. I might have come up a couple of weeks ago. Oh, geez, Tom Ducati's pretty good point of difference.
He's been getting
Laughed
140.
out of the room.
Yeah.
Laughed out of the room.
Oh, yeah, you were. Yeah.
Here we are.
He's been awesome.
I love it. Jaymz Rowbottom rips off 103. Love that.
Awesome.
Tom Green, he's back.
He's back. I'm so glad. A lot of people traded him out this week, and I was like, no, he's a good player.
Sucked in. I brought in Errol Goulden in place of Petrarca. Best move ever. He had 151 this week. Lockie Neal has been absolutely pigging out. He's on 12% of teams now. Lockie Neal. Yeah, he started off really low.
I don't know why. I never think about him.
I think it was like 1 to 2% to start the season. Now it's up to 12. LDU with 148 as well.
He's been a little bit of a pod for me because people don't like picking too many North players.
Sean Darcy finished with 147. Dunkley 144. Yo, 139. Zerrett 135, same as Sam DeCone.
Every good player just scored well this week.
Brayshaw 134. This is so many scores over 130, but my favourite is probably the Hayden Young 130.
Yes.
I've got him
He's
back.
repaying the faith.
I love that. Caleb Sarong, if you had him as your captain.
Yes.
121.
I'll take that.
End. Not bad. That was my pick on the show. Then I switched to Gorn, so I cost myself.
Back your show tips.
I should back my tips a little bit more. But I think everyone will have probably half decent weeks this week because a lot of the primos in SuperCoach scored really well. I think I'm probably about 2,100. So
that's what I got on the 2,099. I was trying to get 2,100. I'll take that.
But there you go. You can check out the official SuperCoach podcast late tomorrow.
Yes.
But that's it. That'll do the AFL Today show for today. We'll be back on Wednesday for more AFL Today on Wednesday. That's the fun midweek madness show, probably with a guest. Better check it out. Thank you to Stats Boy for jumping on.
Thank you.
How good and easy these shows been without just like a loudmouth idiot.
It is. We might have to.
You've only got one loudmouth idiot here.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a few still hanging around, but
it's just weird, right?
It's been good.
Either way, thank you for jumping on. And remember to smash a like for everybody else across the socials. You can see us doing lots of fun, weird, dumb stuff throughout the year. Facey IG, X, Threads, TikTok, of course, YouTube. You can also follow our other shows, Cricket Today Podcast, Football Today Podcast, NBA Australia, Hold All Tickets. Yeah, they're all pretty good. Like, subscribe, star, or we'll send Stats Boy around to your house just to look at you through a window really weirdly. He won't do anything. He's just down there just like, it's going to be weird. He always makes it weird. All right, get around them all. I don't know, like Carlton fans booing Darren Milburn.
Oh,
Google that.
That's a throwback, yeah.
Google that. All right, that's it. We'll catch you later this week for more AFL Today. Until then, look after yourselves and remember, footy's back. If you like this show, make sure you check out all the other shows on the Sports Today Network, from the AFL Today Show to the Cricket Today Podcast, the Football Today Podcast, as well as NBA Australia and NFL Australia. With Sports Today, your sporting needs have never been easier to cover.